How's it going, YouTube? Welcome back to another video deck profile by me, Jamie, on Scrub Games, and today I'm going to go over my list for the Aggro Syn Shenron deck. So as you know, Shadow Dragons came out in set 10 in the yellow, and started off with only 6 different Shadow Dragon card names, and the deck was very strong when it just came out because it's very defensive, and if you got the turn 6, you can bring out a whole lot of Shadow Dragons. So you focused on defending, being defensive, which was quite easy to do with the archetype, to then overpower your opponent by pure advantage and so you want to just get to late game and finish your opponent off via like pure advantage by just tapping 6 and getting a little Shadow Dragon, just beating down because your opponent would be overwhelmed to crack back. And over time we've been getting different Shadow Dragons. So in set 10 we got the 1 and 2 star ball Shadow Dragons, Syn and Haze. In set 11 we got another 2 being the 7 and 3 drop, so Ice Shenron the 3 drop, the 3 star, and Natural Shenron the 7 drop. Now with those with the first ones, we have a whole archetype that's really good core of a deck. Second set gave us a few options, mainly the Ice Shenron that can allow you to play the balls from your deck. So it means you had more consistent ways to make sure you had turn 1 a 1 star played out turn 1. But then with set 12 we got a few more. So we got the Everball one. So we got the 4 drop, the 4 star, 5 star, and 6 star. So we got the 4 star Nova, 5 star for Rage Shenron, and 6 drop for Oceanus Shenron. And also, as well as that, we got some Omega Shenron cards as well, with 1 in the SR and 1 in TB slot. Now, with the inclusion of the cards, we got the best one we got generically for any form of Syn Shenron was the Oceanus Shenron, the Aquamancer or Animancer, the 4 drop, that essentially provides you with a Never Searcher to look for your Shadow Dragons, because it's active main. You burst 1, which isn't too bad, and you discard itself. Look at the top 5 cards of your deck, add a Shadow Dragon that of 8 cost or less from your hand, add it, from the 5, add it to your hand, shuffle your deck, and then you can activate any more copies of this card of this card's activate main for the turn. And it's also a 4 cost barrier blocker, which is relevant for a later card. So it's just with that, it provided a lot more consistency with the deck, being easier to grab what you want. So with Ice and Oceania, you have a good strong consistency with the deck. But with some of the other stuff as well, with the other ones like the Omega and the Rage Shenron, it allowed to have rather just be a defensive build, and with the aim of getting to the turn 6 for the leader's activate main. The deck now has a very strong aggro version, which today I'm going to go over my version of the build. So for anybody who hasn't seen Syn Shenron or getting brand new, hasn't paid attention to it, the leader is Syn Shenron. With on the front side, it's got 2 autos. First is when it attacks, instead of drawing, you look at the top 5 cards in your deck, and it's 1 Shadow Dragon among them to your hand and shuffle. And in the other auto, at the end of the turn, you choose up to 1 yellow Shadow Dragons in your battle area and switch to active mode. So with a lot of them, they've got blocker, or even then, even if they have blocker, being able to switch one from from rest mode to active mode to then protect, meaning it can't be attacked over, is very handy. And the Awaken is a bit different. It's similar to, so it's got with the Awaken you have an alternative way to awaken or awaken at a certain life. And unlike most leaders, instead of being at 4, this leader requires you to be at 3. But the make up for that, instead of either drawing 2, untapping 2, or doing a combination of both drawing 1 and untapping 1, this leader, like Gohan, when you awaken, you draw 2 and untap 1, which is very good. So you get at least 2 cards and 1 energy. And the way to awaken without being at 3 life is by having in play a yellow unison card with specified cost of 4, which at the moment the only option for that is Mecha Gabura. Now with the aggro version, well, at least with my one, I have not included any unisons because I haven't seen the point of having a unison when you just want to drop shadow dragons and just pressure as much as you can with unisons. And most, unless you're playing Bergamo, any other unison is two specified cost or more. Now what I've tried to focus with this deck is making it mostly every play only requires 1 energy at most. So that's with the leader, and on the front side when you do awaken, you got the this side with the then it changes from the, instead of look at top 5 when it swings to draw a card. It's still got the same auto of untapping a Shadow Dragon, but instead of just one, now you untap all yellow Shadow Dragons. So it means if you have a big board of dragons and attack with them all, they all get untapped. And then, as I said, it's got the strong activate main, which the control version goes for, which is for by tapping 6 yellow energy, you can play up to 7 Shadow Dragons cards from your drop to have all different names. So when I say different names, I don't mean like one Syn, one Haze, stuff like that. I mean the card names printed on the card. So as you can see, Syn Shenron the Chiromancer, Syn Shenron the Animancer, any 7 different Shadow Dragons with different names printed on the cards. So you could potentially bring out the 4, 6, 9, and 1 drop Syn Shenrons. Or you can so you can have more than one Syn brought out from it, and you get 7 7 good battle cards for 6 energy, which is really good. And with the aggro version, you're not going to be focused on that, but if you are stalled out to turn 6, it's a good version because you're playing aggro as much as possible, and since you if you push it down awakening, you're drawing more cards and getting more advantage. And if they do try to stall you out and you get to a late game, then you seal it with by basically just having the activate main available. So that's it for the leader. So with the main deck, we've got 4 of the Syn Shenron the Chiromancer. As I said, this is the one that helps you ensure you have turn 1 a 1-drop ball, mainly being the 1-star ball, because there's an activate main. By paying 1 yellow, discard it from your hand and play a 1-star ball from your deck to the field with his skills negated for the turn. But then when you go on first turn 1, you drop that, and then once it goes to your opponent's turn, the skill's alive to be untouchable by your opponent's skills, because that's the benefit with the balls, the negative energy balls, in the fact that they got a permanent which says they can't attack, and they're also unaffected by your opponent's skills. So and you're never going to tap them, because you can't tap them outside of attacking. So unless your opponent's got a way to attack them in active mode, they're not touching them at all. And this is a good way to ensure turn 1 you have one of the balls down. So it basically makes it so that you've got 8 copies of the 1-star, 8 copies of the 2-star, and 3 copies of the 5-star. So that's the ones that are running. Now it's got a counterplay skill, but you're never going to use it. But I'll just go over it quickly. If your leader card is mono yellow, as a counterplay for 2 energy, you can play this card, and the card that's being played then is played in rest mode. So that's a good option you have if you want to use it, but often not you're going to use it for its activate main. But later game you can potentially have it for your have that counterplay option available. Now the new one we got, as I said, Syn Shenron the Animancer. This is one of the extra cards that the new cards that is definitely going to be a staple 4 of, because it adds you a bit more consistency and searchability. Now I'll go over its all skills because all of them are relevant because of card we're going to go over in a bit. So it's a barrier blocker, 4 cost 20k. It's got an auto of when this card attacks, choose one of your opponent's battle cards and switch to rest mode. If the card you switch to rest mode was a 2 cost or less, you KO it. So if you do get on the board, so when you get to synergy, when it swings, you tap down on your opponent's battle card, so it would be a blocker to make it so they can't block with it. And if it's 2 costs or less, you KO as well. And it's got the activate main, which is the main thing you're going to use, which is burst 1. So you've got a mill 1 to trigger it. You discard it from your hand. Then you look at the top 5 cards of your deck, add it to 1 mono yellow Shadow Dragon with energy cost of 8 or less from your hand. So the only thing you're not going to be able to get for this is the Syn Dragon Destruction Incarnate rare from set 10, which is fair enough, because that would be best if you could search that as well, as well as setting up the negative 1-star ball. But then you could be mulliganing for a 9-drop anyway, along with the Ice Shenron and Oceanus. And also, as well, if you trigger that effect, you can't use that activate main on any copies of the card for the turn. So you get once per turn, you get to use that effect to search. Those are the two that are absolute staples for any version of the Shadow Dragon deck, and they're very strong ones that ensure consistency. Now, going with the Shadow Dragons, first up we're going over the Syn ones. We've got the negative energy 1-star ball, which like similar to Haze. It can be similar to all the balls, the negative energy ones. They can't attack and are effective by opponent's skills. Now this one's got activate main for 1 yellow. If your leader card is Shadow Dragon, well, they all got the same effect, but this one requires 1 yellow. You can sack it off to choose up to 1 Syn Shenron with energy cost between 2 and 4 from your deck or hand. Play it and it's off your deck if you look through it. So it means for 1 yellow energy after you've played it, you can play a 4-cost Syn Shenron from your deck. And the target we're normally going to go for that is the 4-cost Syn Shenron Shadow Dragon Leader. It's a blocker 19k. 2 autos. The first one is the last one is similar to the 9-drop, but the first one is the first one is similar to the 9-drop second one, but whereas when it's removing your opponent's battle area by opponent's skill, whereas removing your battle area by opponent's skill, you draw a card and then you play it to the 1-side ball back from your drop. So that's really good in the fact that you could bring it out for the 1-drop by sacking itself off to play it. Then if it's removed on your opponent's skill, you then get to play the 1-star ball back, really do it all over again. And the benefit of playing it is its second auto. When it's played, you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards, one of your opponent's leader cards in rest mode, or battle cards with energy cost of 4 less in rest mode, and that card that you chose can attack during your opponent's next turn. So it's really strong in the fact that if your opponent attacked you last turn with their leader, when you play this, choose opponent's leader, unless they're able to awaken, they're not attacking with it next turn. And being a 19k blocker means you have being a 19k blocker means you could attack with it as well that turn if you wanted to, if you didn't have the 9-drop to put on top of it, and then your leader will untap it, ready to block with. And then the benefit of running those two is then the 9-drop Syn Shenron, Destruction Incarnate. This is a revenge blocker with a way to play it cheaper than, because you don't want to pay 9 energy for it, by EX evolving for 1 yellow energy on top of the 4-drop. Now this is probably one of the best Shadow Dragons in the deck because of its effect. Of its first auto, when your opponent plays a battle card, you can choose it if you want to, ignoring barrier and negate its skills for the turn. So you basically Cold Bloodlust any battle card your opponent plays every turn. But unlike Cold Bloodlust, where the skill is negated before it's played, if any enter play autos or anything like that will still go off. And then similar to the Syn Shenron Dragon Leader, it's got it's got another skill of when it's removed from your battle area by your opponent's skill or KO'd. So unlike the 4-drop where if your opponent KOs it but battle, it's not going to replace itself. But the Syn Shenron 9-drop can trigger when it's KO'd. So when that happens, you draw 2 cards and you can play the 1-star ball from your drop area. So both Syn Shenrons replace when removed by skill or with a 9-drop in the case of being KO'd. Draw at least 1 card for the 4-drop, 2 cards for the 9-drop, and then replace themselves with the 1-star ball ready to go for the chain again. And this is the bread and butter bit of any deck really, because in the defensive ones you use it as a floodgate, also a strong blocker, and in the aggro version you use it as a 30k something to help mediate your opponent's board with the 9-drops effect, and then pressure down with a 30k every turn when during your turn when you're attacking. Next we have the 2 Omega Shenrons, but I'm going to go over the rest of them before I go over that. I should have put them in the bottom of the list, but they came up from the Syn Shenron, so I put them in. And we run 2 copies of those. And the next Shadow Dragon we run that isn't is the Haze Shenron. So we run 4 of the 1-star ball. So as I said, it's the same as the 1-star. I'm not going to re-go over it because it's the same as the 1-star ball. But rather than search for, so instead you for the same effects for the activate main, you instead look for a Haste Shenron with energy cost between 2 or 3. And that target is going to be Haste Shenron the Poison Monster here, the free drop. Now this is a 15k critical, so you're applying quite a bit of pressure. So you either forcing the opponent to lose cards either by losing a life if it connects, or losing cards from hand by comboing out. And when it's played, you get to add 1 Shadow Dragon with energy cost of 4 or less from your drop area from your hand. So one good thing is with this card is you can reuse the Oceanus. So if you've used the Oceanus turn before, and then you end up bringing the Haste Shenron, you can get that back to then have it usable again if you haven't used it that turn. And it's just nice to have 15k critical pressure, and it's good, which is really good for the aggro version, which is this version. And the second stage of the Haste Shenron chain, like with every Shadow Dragon, there's 3 versions of the chain. There's the 1 cost ball, there's the 1 up from that, and then there's the big bad version. And for that one, we have Haste Shenron Venomous Mist. Now this is a 4 of. Not just because it can EX evolve for free on top of a Haste Shenron to then untap itself and give you a 20k double striker to then swing with after having a 15k crit, but because of its ever auto, where if your leader is a Shadow Dragon card and you choose 1 Shadow Dragon in your hand and discard it, when it attacks or when it's used in a combo, you can choose one of your opponent's battle cards in rest mode with energy cost greater than their opponent their current energy and KO it. So the good thing is when you attack, you can ditch things in the drop ready for the Omegas that we're going to go over, or just to set up having different 7 different Shadow Dragons in your drop if you go for that energy thing, while also KOing something that's strong in your opponent's battle area that's higher cost than their energy. Now it's got to be higher, it can't be equal to, it's just got to be higher than the cost. And because of that, it's a obvious 4 off, because if your opponent goes, say, attacks you with Cell Zeno and things like that, you can get rid of it without having to worry about comboing out. Now the next chain of Shadow Dragons we have is the Rage Shenron, so the 5-star ball. So first we got the 5-star ball. The only difference from the 5-star ball to the 1 and 2-star ball is that the activate main doesn't require any energy. So you just play it. You can play it yourself, and then for free, use an activate main to bring out a 2-drop Rage Shenron from your deck or hand. And the target for that is Rage Shenron the Electromancer. This is a very strong card, helpful for the aggro, because it's critical and its auto provides you with some self-awakening, so you can awaken yourself as well as your opponent attacking you. And that's because you can add, with his auto, you can add 1 card from your life to your hand. When it attacks, it gains 5k power, and it's got the critical keyword skill. So in combination with Haze, you're pressuring with critical, while also self-awakening, you're getting some value every way. So with Haze Shenron grabbing back something you drop, Rage Shenron helps you self-awaken on your life. And then the other 2 Shadow Dragons we're having for utility is Nova Shenron Flame Shot Unleashed. So this is a 15k 4-drop, unique, so you can only control 1, but then I'm only playing 1. And it's got a permanent off if your leader is a yellow Shadow Dragon card and you have a yellow Shadow Dragon card in play. You can choose the cost of this card in your hand by 3. So that means if you have another Shadow Dragon in play, you can play this. This becomes a 1 cost, 15k. And then it's got an activate main that is once per turn, burst 2, switches card to rest mode. Switch cards in rest mode. You can play up to 1 Shadow Dragon with a 1 mono yellow Shadow Dragon card from your drop area with any cost of 2 or more, 19,000 power or less, and a character name different from any battle card you have in play, with its skills negated for the turn, and you can't play battle cards from your drop area for the turn. So the good thing about this card is, mainly the reason this card's in there is because it sets up for essentially 2 energy, 12 cost for your Cell Zeno secret that we're playing, and that's done through the Omega Shenron Allies Absorbed, which we're going to go over in a bit. But yeah, it's mainly just there with Mega Shenron allies absorb, you can set up 12 energy for 12 cost of energy. 12 costs of yellow battle cards for successor for just 2 energy. Next one we have is we've replaced the Zarbon from set 1 with the new Oceana Shenron Swift Spirals. So this serves the same purpose as Zarbon in his auto, where you burst 1 instead, so that gives us a bit of a benefit towards the leader's activate main, and also the TB Shenron we're going to go over. If your leader is a Shadow Dragon card and it's your opponent's turn, when this card is using a combo from your hand, choose up to 1 Shadow Dragon in your battle area, switch it to active mode. So as I said, we play 3 of these because it replaces Zarbon and it's more of another Shadow Dragon for effect, so it gets a bit more consistency. And then the 2 cards we're playing aren't Shadow Dragons. Is Selzeno, Unspeakable Abomination, as our secret rare. It's the best secret rare in the game, and we're running a yellow deck which it can be used in, and easy enough to drop it, so obviously we're going to play this. And then for super combo, we're going for the Krillin Moments Before Comeback. Reason for this is with the 1-star bulls, a lot of the time they play the cards from either deck or hand, and usually you would rather play them from deck rather than hand. And the good thing about Krillin is you can put any, if you need any of them in deck, like you need the 4-drop Shenron in deck but you've drawn it or got it from life, this allows you to put it back in deck and draw 2 brand new cards and puts it at the bottom, so you know it's definitely in there for you. And drawing 2 for a super combo from your deck, but putting back 1 to the bottom that you don't want, allows you to cycle through to see things like your Selzeno or certain Shadow Dragons. And the last 2 Shadow Dragons we go over are the Omega Shenrons. So we'll go over the Omega Shenron's Allies Absorb first. This is a very, very strong card, and one of the few reasons why the Aggro Shenron's Aggro version is viable. So it's unique, so you can only control 1, and you can play it for 1. You can play it a lot cheaper than its 8 energy costs with its first activate main, which is for 1 yellow. You choose 1 mono yellow Shadow Dragon with energy cost of 4 or less in your battle area and place it in your drop area. Draw 1 card and play it itself. So by sacking off any 4 cost or less Shadow Dragon from your battle area and paying 1 yellow energy, you get to play it itself and draw 1 card, which is very, very strong. And then the thing that makes it very insanely strong is his activate main once per turn. If your leader card is, well, let's bring it up actually so we can read it a lot better without squinting. It's because I forgot we could do this with Deck Planet, which quick plug. If you're looking for a deck builder or haven't tried this deck builder out, check out Deck Planet. Very good deck builder. It allows you to, as you can see from the view, you can flip over your leader so you can see it both sides at any time and see the actual leader itself. And if I just click on the card, you can bring up this nice little section to give you all the details packs, so you can read it a lot easier. And also information like pricing, views on the card, when it's released in rarity and card number and stuff like that. Really helpful. So with this one, the other activate main is if your leader is a yellow Shadow Dragon and you send 1 mono yellow Shadow Dragon with energy cost between 2 and 4 that isn't Syn Shenron from your drop area to warp, you can add up to 1 card from your life to your hand, and this card gains the skills of that card you sent to the warp until the end of your opponent's next turn. So that means any of your Shadow Dragons that are between 2 and 4 cost, this card can copy. So for example, with Oceana Shenron, you can make it so it's got barrier and blocker, so it can so it can't be interacted with that easily. Gaining barrier gains the effect of Oceanus War. When it swings, you can tap something down if it's 2 costs or less, KO it. Or you can give it the Haste Shenron effect, where you can give it double strike, and then when you swing, you can KO something in your opponent's energy area. That's by discarding a Shadow Dragon that's more than its energy, and give it double strike as well, which is strong. You can remove, or one thing that is that helps with the self-awakening and the power and the even more aggro is by removing your Rage Shenron, the Electromancer, and then using the effect to take a life and copy Rage Shenron, the Electromancer, and then swinging to gain the effect of the Rage Shenron to take a life. So you can potentially, by copying the Rage Shenron True Drop, you can take up to 2 life, and become a 35k critical swing. And then the combination with Nova Shenron that we're talking about to make it possible to drop Cell Zeno for just 2 energy is you can play Nova Shenron for 1 energy, use the effect to tap itself, burst 2, and play a Shadow Dragon like Syn, Rage, Haze, or Oceanus, the 2-drop, or Ice from your drop. And then you can use the activate main of this card to sack off whatever you pulled out to bring itself out. And now you have the 8-drop Omega and 4-drop Nova. You can then use this effect to copy an effect to swing and gain the effect, and then sack them both off for Nova, for Cell Zeno just for 2 energy. Because of that, we only play 2 because what is searchable by Oceanus, and it's recurable by Haze Shenron as well. And in the last card, one of the very strong cards in there is the TP promo Omega Shenron, the Ultimate Shadow Dragon. Now this is a very strong card, and main ways that I've been finishing off opponents or getting rid of unisons is with this. So it's a unique triple strike, so it's very good. And just like Omega, you can play it for just 1 energy with an activate main, which is for 1 yellow. If your leader card is a Shadow Dragon, you have at least 3 or more energy. You can send 7 mono yellow Shadow Dragon cards from your drop area to your warp, draw 1 card and play this card. So just like the other Omega, it replaces it off by drawing a card, and you can play it for 1 energy. But with this one, you need to have 3 or more energy to do that. And what you might think, removing 7 Shadow Dragons, that's quite hard to do early, by that early, or even ruined your end game of getting loads from the drop. With this version, with the burst effects and things like Oceanus discarding it and to search, and Ice Shenron discarding to search and dropping things out like the other Shadow Dragons, it is not that difficult. It's really easy to the trigger. To get the amount in for your drop, and leave things like the 1-star ball for your Syn Shenron. And also being aggro, you might want to combo cards off. Your opponent might attack into battle cards or KO things like the Syn Shenron that draw more cards and put them in the drop. And it's very easy to trigger this, and it's a great way to finish it as well. And the good thing I'm liking with this is, even if your opponent is not limited to once per turn, so if your opponent uses the Trunks to bounce it back to your hand, you can drop it back again. If your opponent drops Charismatic Villain, it doesn't touch it because it's 8 cost, not 7 cost or less. And being triple strike means you can put that extra pressure on, or force cards at your opponent's hand out, combo it, and then drop Syn if you've got 4 cost on your field as well. Cell Zeno if you've got a 4 cost as well. Or even it gives you more of an option to remove your opponent's unisons because you've got triple strike. And unless they've got a negate or a blocker, it's not that you can take out a unison in one go with this. And then if it survives, you've got a triple striker again to swing with. And then if you want to pop it, and if you've got only one thing to pop, then you've got to choose normally between your 9 cost or this or your ever Omega. So that's the deck. I haven't got a sub-lock yet because I'm still testing it, but this is what I've been enjoying and having fun with. And I don't have any extra cards for the reason that it's an aggro deck. I don't really need extra cards to help out. Like with the new Dragon Thunder, the one that's a bean for Shadow Dragons, I don't feel the need for that because I'd rather have Shadow Dragons to help trigger things like the Omega Shenrons and stuff, and have combo power rather than just be able to give a bean and not go to tap energy for it. I'd rather play it for free. But this is the deck. And I don't have the unisons because, as I said, the cards, everything's 1 cost, or only costs 1 to be able to play or use their effects. Nothing really requires more than 1 energy to do anything. But thank you for watching. This has been my take on Aggro Shadow Dragons, and I'm going to hopefully be able to try and get some a gameplay video up as soon as I can make it, because at the moment, anytime I try to record something that's gameplay, the video, it makes my Mac slow, but I'm in the process of trying to upgrade my equipment, and hopefully I'll get some gameplay footage for you soon. But thank you for watching. If you have watched this far, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. Like the video if you enjoyed it, subscribe if you want to see more, and comment if there's anything I didn't cover that I can then cover if I comments, or if there's something I missed out or got wrong. because I don't mind being corrected if I got something wrong, because then I can upgrade the add notifications to the video or take it down and upload it with a correct version. But thank you for watching. I know it's been a long one, but I do like to give full details of why cards are in there, what they can do, or combos and stuff. And normally turn 1 you're going to be going for the matchup, you want to go for the Syn Shenron. But if you have nothing you really want to fear for your opponent, you might want to go into Rage or Haste Shenron to get the aggro crit pressure in. But normally you want to mulligan for Ice Shenron and Ocean Shenron to, Ice Shenron to get the 1-star, the negative energy ball down turn 1, and Oceanus to then get some recursion going, because Oceanus can also, as a benefit, look for never copies of itself. But thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye bye for now.